PlayStation VR has provided a solid virtual reality experience for PlayStation users since 2016. In celebration of PlayStation VR's 5th anniversary, Sony has announced a number of things in celebrating the anniversary, which includes offerings and statistics of PSVR games. Virtual reality has for many years been seen as potentially the next step for gaming, but there have been a lot of obstacles preventing it from happening. Between really expensive hardware, its system requirements, and generally speaking, VR has yet to really take off. Enter PlayStation VR, Sony's solution to these problems, featuring a decent headset at a fair price with a fair selection of games to play. Earlier this year, Sony confirmed its next PSVR model was in development for use with the PS5, showing off its sleek new controllers, which will be taking VR gaming to the next level. Sony announced in a new PlayStation blog post that PlayStation Plus members will be receiving 3 free PSVR games starting in November 2021. Isabel Tomatis, the senior director of PSVR, starts the post saying, "Today marks the 5th anniversary of the day PlayStation VR was introduced to the world, and we want to take this moment to thank all of our fans and our talented development community for embracing this platform and supporting PSVR through the years." They go on to explain that in celebration of this PSVR milestone, PlayStation will be giving its PS Plus members 3 bonus games beginning in November 2021, with more information coming soon. It seems like these titles will be in addition to the regular monthly free PS Plus games. The rest of the article is dedicated to reflecting on the PSVR's first 5 years, with a variety of metrics and statements from developers. According to PlayStation, the most played PSVR games worldwide are Astro's Playroom, Rec Room, Beat Saber, PlayStation VR Worlds, The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim VR, and the terrifying Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. The blog even provides a region-specific breakdown of the most played games, with other games like Job Simulator and Firewall Zero Hour being popular in North America, and Gran Turismo Sport being popular in Japan. Perhaps one or some of these titles will be included in November's game drop. Since the PSVR launch, we have seen a diverse range of unique experiences that showcase a sense of presence we set out to achieve with this platform, including critically acclaimed games such as the thrilling sights and sounds action shooter Res Infinite, the epic rescue mission platformer Astro Bot Rescue Mission, and the stealth action of Hitman 3, with more than 500 games and experiences available on PSVR. Other important titles to notice are Moss, Operation Tango, Batman Arkham VR, Gran Turismo Sport VR, and many great games are there. Some interesting data that is sadly missing from this post are the install base of the PSVR, and some actual estimates of playing time spent in some of these games, and the sales metrics of major PSVR games. Resident Evil 7 Biohazard has sold 10 million copies, and I expect at least above 500,000 is from PSVR. As great as the provided information is, as well as the upcoming free PSVR games that are being offered, this is clearly a marketing tactic to try and sell PSVRs to those who have yet to adopt the hardware. It has also been some time since any official PlayStation VR 2 news, so perhaps some more information is on the way. The largest question though is what games fans can expect in these monthly PlayStation VR drops. Between bots eating up sales and scalpers charging absurd prices, the PS5 has been very difficult to obtain since its launch in 2020. Those who have been holding out may be in luck though, as a new Sony promotion is offering many people an exclusive chance at purchasing a PS5. The past 18 months have been anything but normal, with the COVID-19 pandemic dramatically altering daily life and industries around the world. These changes have resulted in outlets like gaming becoming utilized by many more people, but subsequently, a decrease in production of chips and console hardware. While there have been some PS5 restocks through the PS Direct, Amazon, Target, and other digital retailers, more times than not, these units are quickly purchased by bots who act faster than any regular human could. There has been a bit of breakthrough recently though, as places like Best Buy have held in-store PS5 sales events, where people who were willing to brace the elements could finally get a console. Sony has created a new page on the PlayStation website giving fans a potential opportunity to purchase a PS5. By following the prompts on this website, involving signing in or creating a PlayStation ID. Users may register for an opportunity to purchase a PS5 console from PlayStation. According to Sony, the company will only have a limited number of PS5 units available for US customers to purchase directly from PlayStation itself. Like how PlayStation handled its PS Direct invitation process, lucky registrants will receive an email with instructions about how to go about purchasing a PS5. PlayStation provides an FAQ with some more information regarding this promotion. Regarding who ends up getting picked for invitations, Sony cryptically writes, "Our selection is based on previous interests and PlayStation activities." Furthermore, Sony will be sending out invitations to those it selects in November 2021, with those who do not receive an invite not being selected. Importantly, receiving an invite still does not guarantee a PS5 console purchase, as each invitation is open for limited amount of time, meaning there are a certain number of units available for those who were selected as opposed to the first-come, first-served nature of the PS Direct queues. All in all, this promotion will definitely get a lot of people PS5 consoles for this holiday season, though it will likely also disappoint the many who apply and do not receive an invitation. As long as those who are invited follow the reservation instructions, it seems like they are guaranteed a console. The worst-case scenario then would be to be invited and miss the appointed time slot for console purchase. Other places will likely have PS5 restocks this holiday season, but this may be the best chance most people are going to get a PS5 for now. Sony is a juggernaut in the gaming space. The company has the massive multi-generational success of the PlayStation family of consoles and first-party games to thank for that. Now, it seems that Sony is looking to innovate the PlayStation brand with a new customizable controller. According to recently revealed patents, Sony has a new customizable controller in the works that features a swappable, rotatable button cluster and a customizable touch interface. For many gamers, these words conjure visions of the disastrous Wii U that has trapped games to this day. But these patents reveal that Sony has plans to make this new controller fare better than its Nintendo predecessor. The patents reveal that the controller's customizable touch interface refers to UI elements on the screen. In theory, players would be able to change certain visual elements on the screen, allowing for controls that players could tweak to their own personal style. This could also refer to customizable actions such as swiping in a certain direction to reload a weapon or use a special. It could even refer to allowing developers to alter the screen for various purposes, such as in Hideo Kojima's rumored Silent Hill entry. The controller will also feature a swappable, rotatable button cluster. While it is not entirely clear what this could mean, it is clear that player customization appears to be the primary focus of this controller. The button cluster in question appears to be configurable in a number of ways. The implications of this are vague, but exciting. If the controller is too unwieldy for certain players to use, as was a complaint levied against the Wii U, some of its issues could be resolved simply by allowing players the freedom to customize their controls. While many enjoyed the Wii U, it was an objective commercial failure. Part of the reason the console failed was poor integration of its touchscreen controller. It was and still is an interesting concept, but a failure to capitalize on its uniqueness is what ultimately killed the system. Sony is obviously hoping to avoid a similar fate, and it seems that the company is placing a lot of stock in customization to make this new controller viable. Maybe these features could be put to use in one of Sony's upcoming rumored remakes. Most of what is known about the new Sony controller is vague. It is still unclear how these admittedly cool features will affect gameplay for a given title. If Sony wants to avoid going the way of the Wii U, they will have to ensure that these unique features give players a reason to change up the way they play. No matter what happens though, one thing is clear: Sony is looking to innovate the industry in a lot of ways, and their focus now seems to be shifting towards their controllers. Something big is on the way. PlayStation 5 Store is one of the many large changes from the previous gen, and now it will finally receive a small but meaningful update. A noticeable PS5 quality of life feature that was missing was the inclusion of a new games section. Now, this feature can be found under Latest in a new subsection titled New Games. It's admittedly a small update to the PS5 Store, but one that was worryingly missing for almost a year. Another reason this is an important feature is that many indie titles were simply going unnoticed by those browsing the system's shop. The PS5 Store has several sections including latest, but it doesn't actually focus on showing the latest titles. Instead, this area included a What's Hot section, as well as an area for pre-orders. What's Hot is sometimes updated with games that were recently released, but they were almost always the more popular titles, often omitting some of the smaller gems that go unnoticed. Players will be relieved to see this change added to the PS5 Store, but the console still has a bit to go before fans are completely satisfied with the UI. As of now, future PS5 updates are currently in the works according to Hideaki Nishino, who is currently working on a list of different requested features and quality of life updates for Sony to implement. Still, this is a nice change and one that will hopefully make indie titles more discoverable on PS5. With the PS5 still under a year in age, it'll be interesting to see how many more quality of life updates the platform will receive, and how often they will be delivered. The new games feature is quite a small change to the PS5 Store, but one that will surely impact how often smaller games will be noticed. There is also another update rumored for PlayStation, as Apple Music is set to come to the PlayStation ecosystem. Speaking of PlayStation, PlayStation hires former head of content at Apple Arcade, Nicola Sebastiani, to lead the company's new pursuits in the mobile market. PlayStation may be one of the front runners in the console market, but its offerings for the mobile crowd are rather quaint. However, with the hiring of a former Apple executive, PlayStation is looking to flip the script on its mobile pursuits. The prevalence of mobile gaming over the past decade is a boom like never seen before. As with the blossoming of phone and tablet technology, a new type of mobile gaming arose, a more passive experience built on tight, simple gameplay loops. Earlier this year, PlayStation announced its plans of expanding into mobile, after testing the waters with infrequent releases in the last decade. With this announcement, PlayStation also confirmed it was hiring for its head of mobile position to help lead the adaptation of its most popular franchises. PlayStation has hired Nicola Sebastiani to help lead the company's journey into the mobile market. According to his LinkedIn experience page, Sebastiani is currently the vice president and head of mobile at PlayStation Studios, joining the company back in July. Sebastiani spent the last 8 years at Apple, the first 5 as the head of games business management on the App Store team, and the final 3 as the head of content at Apple Arcade. This is the position that PlayStation was previously hiring for, meaning Sebastiani is working on adapting PlayStation's first-party franchises for mobile. It has been some time since the last major mobile release by PlayStation. In the run-up to 2018's God of War, PlayStation released God of War Mimir's Vision, an interactive AR game that let fans get a first look at the then-new world of Midgard. There are other titles like God of War Betrayal, the puzzle game Uncharted Fortune Hunter, and the endless runner, Run Sackboy, Run, but PlayStation has primarily been putting out companion apps for its console titles, or its PlayLink initiative, where users play a game on their PS4 or PS5 through their phone or tablet. The hiring of Sebastiani is a great sign for PlayStation's mobile pursuits, as he is a figure that clearly understands the mobile game market. It is a bit ironic that Nintendo, which has been shown to be a bit behind the times with its console features, is perhaps the most integrated into the mobile market with its wildly successful games like Mario Kart Tour and Super Mario Run. PlayStation recently announced Wipeout Rush, a card-based racing game coming in early 2022 whose formula changes quickly disappointed Wipeout fans. Hopefully with Sebastiani, PlayStation can make up ground in the mobile market and offer some truly unique experiences. They could make a Gran Turismo mobile or a platforming mobile game. Moving forward, BioWare confirms it is not building a version of Dragon Age 4 for last-gen consoles, potentially hinting a good news as next-gen only. On the heels of a successful Mass Effect Remastered Trilogy launch, BioWare is already hard at work on its next game, Dragon Age 4. However, unlike the Mass Effect Trilogy, it will not be coming to the PS4 and Xbox One consoles. BioWare has seemingly made the decision to leave last-gen consoles behind, whether gamers are ready or not. Sources are pointing to the LinkedIn profile of a former employee as evidence that BioWare is developing Dragon Age 4 for PS5 and Xbox Series X and S consoles only. The LinkedIn profile of a developer formerly employed at BioWare. In his resume credentials, Daniel Nordlander listed that he worked as the lead play designer on Dragon Age 4 at BioWare until October 2020 and listed PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. Additional inquiries confirm that there are no plans for a last-gen build of the game and Dragon Age 4 will only release on new-gen consoles. EA itself is still supporting last-gen consoles, as FIFA 22 released in early October and Battlefield 2042 expected in November will be cross-gen releases. As time passes though, that list of games still expected to be cross-gen may begin to wane. Aside from future sports entries like NHL, Madden, and F1, EA may be ready to consolidate its studios to develop solely for new-gen consoles. With reports stating that Dragon Age May 4th release in 2023, it's not all that surprising that the game may only release on those platforms. The intermediate area between console upgrades is an awkward time for gamers and developers alike. Even more so, given everything happening concurrently with this generation's upgrade cycle. EA and BioWare expect or hope that by the time Dragon Age 4 is ready for launch, the circumstances around PS5 and Xbox Series X console shortages will have subsided enough to comfortably leave the generation behind. It is worth noting that launch is still so far out. Dragon Age 4 even slipped deep into 2023 or 2024, depending on how well development goes, giving even more time to us that want to commit to a new-gen console. Speaking of fantasy RPGs, news on the Xbox title, Avowed, gives fans a better idea of combat mechanics and class systems in the upcoming medieval fantasy RPG game, but there is a caveat too. First announced last year at the Xbox Games Showcase, Avowed is a first-person action RPG that is part of the Pillars of Eternity universe. Though there hasn't been much coverage on the game lately, new details on this Microsoft exclusive have surfaced around multiple classes and a two-handed combat system like the one found in Skyrim. Developer Obsidian is no stranger to RPGs, with titles like Fallout New Vegas, Dungeon Siege 3, and The Outer Worlds in its roster. The team has boasted Avowed will be an epic, AAA title with plenty of quests and exploration to keep gamers busy. The story takes place in Eora, a medieval fantasy setting with continents, magic, islands, and mysterious creatures. Fans of the Pillars of Eternity games may have noticed the banners embellished with the crown that's signifying the goddess of justice and law, Wotica, at the beginning of the announcement trailer. Towards the end of the trailer, many also noticed a character dual-wielding magic and a glowing sword etched with runes. Recent news confirms that this will be a mechanic in the highly anticipated game. As the team at Obsidian get closer to a playable alpha, news on the progress of the game is getting out. According to Windows Central sources, players will have options when it comes to equipping weapons and selecting a class. Options include possible classes that would wield two-handed weapons or magic, or a combination of magic and a weapon. No actual classes have been revealed at this time, but fans of Pillars of Eternity will find many elements familiar such as spells, weapons, and monsters. It was noted that there will be warrior, rogue, and caster class systems, but this has not been elaborated on yet. Much like The Outer Worlds could be considered Obsidian's take on Fallout, Avowed is showing to be much like its take on the Elder Scrolls series, though with noticeable differences. The dual-wield combat system will be familiar to Skyrim players, but Windows Central sources say the mechanics will have their own distinctions. The color schemes and general lighting of Avowed are said to be much closer to The Outer Worlds versus games like Oblivion or Skyrim. Unlike the dark trailer for Avowed, there is speculation the game will feature radiant caves, luminant forests with lush vegetation, and tombs swarming with monsters. This would be closer to the brightness of the Outer Worlds games instead of the dark tones often seen in Elder Scrolls. The game is said to be based on a similar but enhanced version of the engine that was used with the Outer World, which could hint at Avowed possibly having brighter scenery from the lighting engine. In addition to the classes and dual wielding, Avowed will feature an interactive environment. This includes swimming, destroying elements of the environment, and using torches or fire spells to unlock blocked areas. However, fans will have to wait until Obsidian releases more information to confirm these details. The biggest catch of the report is that the game is in pre-production, like the other games from Xbox like Hellblade 2, Fable, Perfect Dark, The Elder Scrolls 6, Contraband, Everwild, State of Decay 3, which was revealed with CGI, and we got no gameplay yet. Everwild has no concept till now. Hellblade 2 was shown at 2019 Game Awards, no gameplay shown for Redfall, and no improved campaign show for Halo Infinite, and no updates for other games, which is concerning, and I want to see gameplay for these games. There is a rumor that Hellblade 2 will be shown at this year's Game Awards, and if it is true, I want to see gameplay, and not some behind the scenes and documentaries. Show that after the game release, not before. Cryptocurrency is a hot topic, not just in general, but within the video game industry. There are an increasing number of games advertising their ties to the blockchain, or hinting at ways of rewarding cryptocurrency or NFT prizes. Despite a very vocal minority of crypto fans, however, the technology remains highly controversial due to environmental concerns, market volatility, and seemingly ever-present scams. It's perhaps no surprise then that Valve has decided to ban blockchain games from being sold on Steam. The news comes from Age of Rust developer Space Pirate Games. Age of Rust is a blockchain-integrated adventure game where players can collect in-game NFTs by solving puzzles. In a Twitter thread, Space Pirate Games says that it was clear and communicative with Valve about the nature of the game, only to be told that Age of Rust would be removed from Steam. Space Pirate Games was told that Steam does not allow games to include items with real-world value on the platform. In its first tweet, Space Pirate Games links a list of rules and guidelines from Steam, which consists of 13 rules regarding what shouldn't be published on Steam. The rules are mostly rather standard, banning hate speech, sexually explicit images of real people, and regionally illegal content. The latest rule, rule number 13, is specific to blockchain technology. It says that all applications built on blockchain technology, and here's the key part, that issue or allow the exchange of cryptocurrencies or NFTs shouldn't be published on Steam. It actually isn't clear when Valve officially banned games featuring cryptocurrency or NFTs. The rules and guidelines may have been updated some time ago, but is only now having attention called to it. Valve's had a tumultuous relationship with cryptocurrency in the past. In 2017, Valve announced it would no longer accept Bitcoin as a payment method due to volatility in transaction costs. A year later, Valve banned a developer whose game secretly farmed cryptocurrency. Suffice to say, Valve has good reason to be nervous about not just the nature of blockchain technology in video games, but also the intent of the creators that use it. That said, Valve has not issued an official statement regarding games with cryptocurrency or NFTs being banned. As such, the reasons for its decision aren't entirely clear. On one hand, it's clear that blockchain technology can and has been used to scam video game players. On the other hand, Valve does allow items with real money value in its games, like Team Fortress 2 and Counter-Strike Global Offensive Cosmetics. With games using blockchain and NFTs officially banned from Steam, Epic is tentatively allowing them onto the Epic Games Store with conditions. The Epic Games Store made an explosive entry onto the scene of online game store fronts a few years ago, and has not slowed down since. With the reveal of the latest free games on the Epic Games Store, it maintains its forward momentum. That's not to say that it hasn't been a journey without troubles, both for the Epic Games Store and for Epic itself. Competition with Valve's Steam is still largely in the more entrenched Steam's favor, and Epic's so far unsuccessful legal battle with Apple has not helped the company. Now, a power move by Epic may wind up being impactful in its contest against Steam. The decision is a direct mirror to Steam's decision regarding games containing blockchain and NFTs, non-fungible tokens. At some point in the recent past, although no one is sure exactly when, Steam changed its publishing guidelines to ban games issuing or allowing the exchange of cryptocurrencies and/or NFTs. Essentially, Steam banned games where cryptocurrencies/NFTs are essential. Perhaps sensing an opportunity to attract developers who no longer have a place on the more popular storefront, Epic Games has stated its store will accept games featuring blockchain and NFTs. This is undoubtedly a savvy move on the part of Epic Games if it wants to attract more exclusive developers and their games, which has always been the Epic Games Store's major strategy. The term Epic Games Store exclusive has become a familiar one as the storefront uses Epic Games' wealth to offer lucrative exclusivity deals. Many times this has annoyed players to no end, but it has worked in Epic's favor, and in this case the games are excluded from Steam by default. With the upcoming edition of Epic Games Store achievements, it would seem Epic is acquiring more feathers for its storefront's cap. That said, Epic has chosen to tread carefully when it comes to NFTs and cryptocurrencies. Both are still relatively unknown factors, and Epic doesn't want backlash if players wind up buying into something that ends up biting them later for whatever reason. NFTs have drawn controversy in the past within the video game sphere, and are still somewhat the Wild West of the digital space. As such, Epic will examine games using them and cryptocurrencies on a case-by-case basis, determining carefully which ones are allowed onto the storefront. With the lawsuit with Apple recently appealed by Apple and still possibly disastrous, Epic cannot afford more problems. And that's all for the video, guys. Like and share the video for a greater audience. Comment your thoughts on the topics, and donations are always appreciated. Subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon, and until then, from SMPV, it's goodbye.